the battery is cutting it here. Maybe like this, actually. Those are the fastest trigger. We still have a duct tape. We play it like this. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I just realized tape position between Aiden and Uzi is better. No discussion there. You're correct. I was missing that. Couldn't you make a case for CDR and Aiden just to start faster? Yeah, I mean, it's just the Aiden. Like, to be fair, the Aiden is not the same faster than the companion core. If you have a lot, the cooldown on the companion core just low enough, the haste loop of the companion core itself starts ideally with the start of the Aiden, and therefore your whole board is starting off. And then I would wager 3% on the Aiden might matter if you achieve having a companion core cooldown as low to whatever, below 4 seconds in that scenario. Here though, even if the Aiden goes off 3% earlier, that does not make any loops happening. So it's just like we get like 3% earlier, a little bit of heal and haste. Sure, it is not nothing, but also I don't think the overall impact is in the same measurement. And if I had obviously a companion core, I also get 3% on all the other items and the core, and therefore that is totally like so much more value to me if I have to be honest. So I mean, maybe I was a little bit too dismissive, so I give you that. I think it is something more than nothing, but it's also not so much more that I'm willing to say, well, in that specific scenario, I rather have like in total 15 gold. I think I can make more work out of 15 gold in general. Okay, monster loot is by far superior here. I like monster loot. I will keep this, and we can later discuss to put it either on the battery or the Uzi. Working at the docks, extra health or medium items. I'm not interested in medium items here. Even though this is work and extra gold, I'm settled on gold. Extra health though is kinda amazing. I will go for the Lone Shark. To be fair, it might be that I miss an PvE encounter that would be good on the force field build. As said, not even as remotely as much practice on those. So if I ever would face a PvE encounter where I miss an important item, just to me having a more of a ignition core and a companion core brain here, feel absolutely free to call me out, and probably you will be right. Just to be clear, no, you don't need to be shy there. Upgrade an item is pretty good. We just have to figure out which item we want to upgrade. 21 shield would be also kind of good if we would say it is on both items, but I want definitely upgrade an item, and I have already a very good item in mind. So we can make a small discussion here again between two items. So we don't care about the force field, by the way. It's only a little bit extra shield. It's not as powerful. The two powerful items are the armor core that would get more relevancy again if this was golden, and also we could upgrade our battery that we want to use to have like sort of a multicast effect on our force field, or reduce at least for a huge amount the cooldown on the force field and go early hard on our opponent. I feel like it is more important to have like a battery going on here on the force field in the long run, and there are more sources to upgrade the core in the long run. I know it would be absolutely amazing and cracked if this was a diamond core by now. This is not the point. The point is I will fall short if the battery is not upgraded, because that is more important, and there are more sources for the core in the long run due to skills, due to Dooley's workshop, due to also having the upgrade your core show up that we can only exclusively use on the core. So I'm inclined to say battery is just a little bit more important here, so we are doing it. Speaking of those, there is Simon, and maybe he lets us upgrade our cores. This sounds good, though this is a hard bargain. I think this is one of the best skills in the game after Invigorating Cold, because First of all, we would play it with 2 cores, and we have just so much haste. We will instantly have a full haste uptime on the board, which is kinda cracked and strong. So even though upgrading here 2 cores is, I would say, pretty good, and probably in the short run the stronger option even maybe, like reducing the cooldown by all your items by a half because you have perma haste is just too powerful. Especially since now this is showing up more often and we have a very easy way to upgrade this. Especially a diamond, you only need 1 core to kind of get your perma haste rather easily on the board. So here, unfortunately, this would be good and we thought about it and we're like happy if it occurs. This is just super premium. I'm willing to take this any day. Here is Nufu. I will roll Nufu if this is not showing up, because it's still kind of possible if I reroll that this shows up. I didn't think too much of the other skills, but I was like so inclined to look for the upgrade of this skill that I passed those skills maybe a little too fast, but in total I would have done the same outcome no matter what. Here I'm not inclined to take those because how the way the reroll of the skills works is they reroll if you get an upgrade and then you have like a larger pool and it's not guaranteed. I rather have the upgrade here option. Anyway, long story short, we are kind of strong now. Still, we should consider a little bit how we want to position ourselves. I want to catch up with the chat just for a second and then we are going up. Good morning, Deception today. Welcome to the stream. All humans, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you so much, CatPlays. Merry Christmas to you as well. Hope you're all doing well. And thank you, Milagrinos, for the follow. Okay. 2 cores is pretty good. Probably something we should run as long as this is only gold, because we have therefore perma haste. We are starting slow though, so I don't know if the battery here is needed. We will also desync a little bit, so maybe we don't want to do this. Now is the question if I value the duct tape highly. In all honesty, even though it is an extra scaling, I rather have like fast triggers here on the board just to pop off a little early. Here maybe though the Uzi is kinda after, I don't know, 13-14 seconds running out of ammo, so maybe it's a good idea to put at least 2 ammo on this. I want to put the other ammo probably on the battery in the long run, so I will still save this. And then we are going exactly like this. Also, thank you Vogel RS, Nohawks, Nighthawks, and Fritterns. Thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Christmas to all of you. And yeah, thank you so much. Guys, do you think the companion core build, car or missiles, is better? Early missiles, later if you have enough cooldown reductions and early enough start, the car is better. What's the shield skill? It's hardened shield. It's not as strong, but we have enough targets to justify to pick it. It means when the enemy uses a weapon, we scale a little bit of shielding. Speaking of it, I'm inclined here not to go to metals, but to fortis. There might be some good shields going our way. When you use a weapon, your shield items gain +6. That sounds pretty good. Even though getting a little bit of damage might also be good, this is definitely the easiest pick of my life. I'm inclined to say I don't need a little bit of extra damage on my items here, so I will go to Tox Clocks. The reason is there might be still some decent amount of haste items. This is absolutely premium. We are high rolling, and now we have considerations where I would say, okay, let's be honest, a diamond companion core is pretty good, especially if we can reduce the cooldown to 3 seconds, though that is by no means any sort of reliable way to play this game. Getting a scrap metal and upgrading it to diamond is even as much as you want to force it, maybe not possible to do. I am buying this, I will hold on to this, and then I will upgrade it just in a little bit in a few levels. Here I am very easily going for the Radiant Corsair, though to be fair, that is a super long fight, so I am inclined to say either, well, this is scaling though, I mean this is still good. I was still inclined to say the Uzi Smiting is definitely running out of ammo in this fight, and I'm quite certain that is the case, but it got 5 seconds, so maybe it takes some time. PPQ, happy that you managed to reach Legend. Congratulations. Hope you enjoyed the game and had a good time climbing the ladder. You can wait the enchantment for get it both the cores. So this is going already on both cores. So that is upgrading both cores no matter what. At least if both the cores are on the field. There might still be the bug that both cores needs to be on the field and not in the stash. So just be careful about that. That was at least for a long time a bug lately. I also want to upgrade it for a different reason. This in diamond is saying reduce the cooldown by a flat 1 second of the core and also upgrades the core. So reducing the cooldown here to 3 and here to at the moment 5 is what this will do in the future. Speaking of it, we really need core cooldown reduction. Okay, 3 loot items is probably the best here, just for feathers. So we are doing this. Probably we should put this on the force field. This has no consideration, we can sell it off. Here, I don't need the freebies, I can look at items, so let's look at items. None of consideration, none of consideration. Chocolate is probably still good here. We are lacking a little bit. I will put this right now on the battery, because if I do this, I will have space in my stash again. I want to have 5 slots available for the chocolate here. Feel like buying gold chocolate is still kind of valuable considering the low amount of health we have. I feel like this is still the best I can do. I like the Uzi here. Only consideration is Aiden is falling probably a little off, and we could go a little more explosive with the battery we just improved and put some charges on. It is probably more warranted, though makes our armored core a little slower because there's nothing on the, like 1 item less on the left side. It is a close call. I feel like both is good. Let's do it like this. I think both should be come to the same power output more or less. I don't know if I would agree, at least at the moment, to put here a duct tape, to be fair. Just because the duct tape here is, okay, it's an item that gets like the extra 10 or whatever, like for this core, extra 10 shield. But that is, let's be honest, not a lot. And we are struggling anyway to have like explosive starts and faster triggers on our core, or like a lot of charges on our core. And then having here a duct tape is like sitting like a duck kinda. So I would wager it is better either to say we want a battery for the force field or having an Aiden here on the left. Though that is not mean in any disrespect, and probably it is still a good idea to do. But my reasoning is put stuff either here to the left to trigger more often, and therefore also like 6 seconds on the duct tape itself. It's like it's a super slow item. And I have also a combat core that benefits from faster procs. I have a armored core that benefits from faster procs. So my board would benefit definitely from faster procs, and so I would rather have an Aiden here, or maybe the discussion I had just a second ago of having maybe the battery on the force field is still reasonable. I still want to get 3 loot items. I have just witnessed that my core is still at 6 seconds, so getting golden feathers is kinda important here. Those are no golden feathers. I will still put the crit for sure on the force field. That is my heavy hitter and also therefore reasonable to do. I will still do the chocolate here over JJ. I think on average JJ has nothing to offer. I will pick the XP here. I don't want weapons. I want to invest in gumballs. And 1 XP means maybe I get a little earlier my guaranteed level up upgrade. I still think I don't need the 1 extra XP though that badly. I rather go for the rock. I feel like the rock has a reasonable chance. Feather and cooldown reduction is important. His duct tape was giga buffed, so it's a whole different case. Okay, I can see totally if you have 100 shield duct tape from the start of combat, you cannot let go of it anymore. Definitely a different case then, and I would probably play it then exactly like he did. Non-weapon items or small items. Small items has more potential for battery. Other than that, I don't know if I still want to have a metronome, probably not, since I have like a lot of haste from the skill. So I'd rather go to Kina, because I want to see different stuff. There is a chrono barrier. This is now becoming a more and more interesting game here. The chrono barrier is by far one of the best items if you can make it to diamond. So that is a really good item. Though I feel like with the force field setup in specific, you have the problem that you already are playing more clunky items, while on the even on the companion core, but especially on the ignition core or on weapon core, you don't play large items. And if you don't play large items, obviously you have a little more space and more leeway to put in stuff and put out stuff. Here we are already super bound to board space issues, and we would have to, I don't know, even if we take out this in the future 3-second combat core, maybe 3-second combat core, we already like only have like 2-3 slots left here, and then we really need something that does something more than just reducing the cooldown, because otherwise we maybe stale out our opponent, but we are not doing anything ourselves and are super slow ourselves. So the downside of the chrono barrier is just too high. So I would wager in this specific setup, I don't think the chrono barrier actually fits, and it will harm us at least as much as it benefits us. So I will not buy it here. That might be controversial and unintuitive. This is an amazing item, just not in this specific setup where we went for the force field. Also, head hook. Thank you so much for your follow, and thank you for the prime. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support, as well as obviously happy Christmas to you and everyone. Okay, we are skipping this. There is no consideration further to be made. Shield or looking at items. We don't need freebies. We have a lot of money, so we can also justify to look at items here. No considerations at all. If you ever find an item I should have considered, feel free to challenge me, and then I will maybe explain why I came to a different conclusion. Here I will definitely take the health. As far as setup goes, do we think, like, the only thing is this is now upgraded, so it's becoming a little better. The haste is not mattering too much. We will have very, very fast haste here on the board. The battery is making us a little explosive, though we are, I would say, rather soonish, not soonish, rather slowly scaling in comparison to the other force field build without the combat core, which is a little slower still. So I like actually the Aiden here more. I feel it is more procs, it's more scaling, and I think we rely not about the burst of the battery and more of the slowness of scaling. It might even be good to have like a fast second weapon here due to the defensive stand, at least in the mid game. Anyway, we are going with this. I feel not too bad. I think we are kind of strong. Anyway. Oh, Top Xanderino had a different idea here. And he and I misread his comments, so sorry for this. He was suggesting rather to hold on to the scrap metal, not for the purpose of upgrading it and reducing the cooldown, because also what the scrap metal does, and that is unbugged for now, you can enchant the scrap metal, and if it is possible, the enchantment then will be giving over to the cores when you sell it. So if I would like, say, making this a radiant scrap metal, for example, and sell the scrap metal, both cores will become radiant if it is possible, which it is. Same way for shielded scrap metal or whatever. So in that case, it is sometimes at least consideration to do. I would say it is not so likely for the earlier days to get your enchantments. Enchantments only occur very late and rather unreliable. So in my personal opinion, I wouldn't hold on too much unless, I don't know, that's a big brain move. We are at day 12, we have our diamond stuff, we just found the gold scrap metal, we have a lot of gold, we just buy the gold scrap metal and then do this trick. Even then though, it is only good, kinder and worthwhile and consider worthy in my opinion if you have 2 cores, and to be fair, that is rarely the case, at least in my personal experience, especially later on. I like chocolate, I don't like weapons, I still can happily invest here. I will look at weapon skills though, because we are running weapons, there might be something good in there, and the likelihood of getting something good on the small weapon render is not there. There is a diamond skill, and that is also a good diamond skill, because our slowest weapon will freeze the smaller item for 2 seconds, so hell yeah. One of those is the one that will trigger it. I think it will be the left one, since both have the same cooldown if I remember correctly. But in any case, this means we're also able to freeze medium items, because a smaller item is from a large item a medium item. And also we are rather hasted. So this is going off hopefully every 2 seconds, and having a freeze medium item or small item every 2 seconds is super powerful. So hell yeah. We are going for the strongest fight here. That is an easy consideration. Chrono Barrier is a good pivot item. If you find Diamond Ray, you could easily go out of Force Field. I would wager, first of all, 1 Diamond Ray is probably not enough. So I would need to buy a little more rays. That is not really consistent. I feel I am, though, completely, I would say, locked in a little bit more. And also, I could only upgrade either the scrap metal or the Chrono Barrier. And for the setting I have, I rather have the upgrade for now and probably the future on the scrap metal, because I'm already rather pivoted into this build, or like bound to this build. And then the golden Chrono Barrier is not getting us anywhere. It is only good if you upgrade it early to diamond, because then it's broken, and then I explained why I don't think it is strong in this build. We are upgrading, as mentioned, our scrap metal here. And as mentioned, I think it is still bugged actually. So if this was in the stash, this would not get upgraded here. Just be careful about that. Small bug. If it is on the field though, nothing happening. I don't know if the scrap metal also has to be on the field, just to be clear that we are, just to be sure we're not running into any issues here. I will put everything on the field. Now I know it will work. And you can see 3-second combat core. This is obviously a lot stronger now. With the heavy machinery and the frozen shot stuff. Now we are getting somewhere. I don't like gumballs too much. I don't know if I should value 3 crit here so highly. I don't need a small weapon. I'd rather look at items, see if there's something I want to have. I don't think I want to even run a barbed wire at this point. And there is no consideration. I will look at skulls though. So I would say reducing cooldowns by 5% is kind of strong. So only question is if it, because the combat core is new and being a vehicle, it is new that it is being a vehicle, or we want to improve here. I don't think this is mattering too much. having like 5% cooldown reduction on my items kind of strong. Also means the combat core is now the guy who for sure is relying on the freeze. I think that is okay. I want to pick it. I feel that is a good, strong skill to pick. There are other questions in chat, so I want to tend to 1 second to them. I have used this scrap metal after upgrading it because that reduced the cooldown by 1 full second on my items. No, the force field is not the one that has the frozen shot. It's the... Oh yeah, it's the... You are actually correct. I reduced the cooldown of the force of the combat core by 1 second, so it's always a force field, and then the battery on the force field is a lot better. Very good point, guys. Thank you for seeing this. I was like still in the mindset we just reduced 5% here, and this is still at 4. That was like a small oopsie on my side. Thank you so much. Obviously, in that case, it is probably stronger to do it like this. Also, we have like 6 charges, fortunately, here on the battery. So that is so true. Thank you so much. Yeah, you are absolutely fully correct. I was screwing that up big time. And your min-max approach, Paise, is absolutely correct. I could have waited just a little bit before upgrading the cores in case there was a very, very, very minor chance of an enchantment. Probably should have done that also. I don't think upgrading a force field is a lot of impact. I will go with the chocolate here. And there's another enchantment. That is just a little bit too late now, but this is still a good enchantment. Do we want to put it? On which do we want to put it? I would say it's never the core here. I would say it's either the combat core or the force field. Force field is the heavy hitter and the freezer, so having this not be frozen early is probably really strong. Also, though the combat core is in this setup probably our scaler a little bit more for getting the shield. So if this is perma-frozen, we are also a little bit screwed. I think the force field is just a little bit better because most freezes occur early in combat, and then we would not freeze ourselves. So I feel like this is a little better for exactly that reason. I think we can easily fight this opponent here. I don't know what happened there, Andre Bird. It should work. Maybe, just to be clear, if you had your ignition core not on board, there might be